Well, Julie, top Democrats who once rallied around Eric Swalwell after Kevin McCarthy booted him from the House Intel Committee are now suddenly very silent as newly declassified FBI files show the former Democratic congressman admitted to a, quote, physical relationship with suspected Chinese spy Fang Fang. Here's what Democrats said back then when McCarthy raised concerns.
I have rarely heard such pernicious nonsense as we heard from the minority leader a few minutes ago. He accused Mr. Swalwell of having a Chinese spy or Chinese agent in his campaign. That's absurd, and I think Mr. McCarthy ought to be ashamed, because he is an experienced campaigner. He knows this, for raising these spurious allegations.
I sat in on that briefing, and when Kevin McCarthy misrepresents it and does that disservice to the American people, it's shameful.
I don't have any concern about Mr. Swalwell.
And we are joined now by the former House Speaker, Kevin McCarthy. Kevin, great to see you. I know you're going to have a lot to say here. I remember back in 2023 when you booted Swalwell off House Intel, you had a press conference and you told the media, if you just had the briefing that I got from the FBI, you wouldn't have him on any committee whatsoever. And you took a lot of heat from the media and from Democrats for that comment at the time. Here we are today. I imagine you're feeling pretty vindicated right now.
I was vindicated then too, but remember in March 2021, I made a privileged resolution to remove him from the committee then as well, because I did get a briefing along with Speaker Pelosi at the time, and the FBI briefed us on what transpired. And I turned to her inside that room in the skiff and said, how can you keep him on Intel? And for your viewers to understand, there's only a select committee of members that get on Intel, because you get all the top secret briefings. She had 200 other members who could serve on that committee. She should have removed them. She knew all along what had transpired. And when I went to the floor for that briefing, Schiff lied about it, Pelosi lied about it, and a lot of Democrats all got behind and kept him on that committee. It's very concerning to me that they would continue to do that. And now, lo and behold, the American public knows the truth, what I was saying all along. I think it should go even further. I want to know, did any of his family members continue to communicate with Fang Fang? How did she know to leave the country when she did? Did somebody warn her ahead of time? Those are questions that have never been answered. And now we find out, even when he was running for governor, I warned people about his character and others. You need to look at those who hung around him. Congressman Gomez, who now has an ethics challenge against him, but also Senator Gallegos. These three traveled the world together, and I have real concern about what they did during some of those trips or on the floor.
Swalwell gave an interview to CNN back in 2020 where they asked him about this controversy with Fang Fang. Here's some of what he said.
Did you have any concerns about this person before you had what's known as a defensive briefing from the FBI to make you aware of this threat?
No, Jim, I was shocked when, just over 6 years ago, I was told about this individual, and then I offered to help. The story says that, there was never a suspicion of wrongdoing on my part.
Kevin, how do you think that answer ended up aging?
Not well. Remember, he met Fang Fang when he was a city council member. He gets elected to Congress. She puts interns in her office. To get on Intel committee is one of the most difficult things to happen in Congress. He gets on in a sophomore position, in the minority, and only one person gets to make that decision, Nancy Pelosi, their leader. And she is very close. That's when the FBI comes to those two leaders and warns them this man is having a relationship. He lies to the American public then. And look, I want to tell the American public, I was right about that, and I also do it if I see something wrong on the Republican side. When I raised the issues on Matt Gaetz, that was right too. He did come forward that it did find out he slept with underage women and paid them and gave them drugs. This is a thing of why we need to clean up Congress. But for the Democrats to continue to defend Swalwell and all that he had transpired, when they knowingly knew, why would they keep him on an Intel committee with all the top secret briefings when they knew that he had a relationship with somebody that was a Chinese spy all the way back from the city council days?
And we got about 30 seconds left here. You and Swalwell had plenty of clashes. He referred to you as a, quote, weak man. He called you the spectator speaker. Final word to you. What do you think about the new revelations that he's now being investigated for sexual misconduct? The FBI just seized his electronics here in D.C. and at San Francisco Airport. Final word.
Look, I knew he was a bad person. I didn't know how bad he really was. I was willing to stand up to him and the Democrats. I want to know why the Democrats protect him. Did they know that he was allegedly drugging these young women and sexually harassing them at times? This is uncalled for. He collapsed. Once it all came forward, the Democrats couldn't hide from it. But I wish at the time that we could have stopped him way back then. I don't know how much damage he has been able to do to this country with the relationship with a Chinese spy.
All right, got to leave it there. Former House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, always great to see you. Thanks for joining us on this Friday.
Thank you.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.